I'm only answering this question once. In fact, I'm not taking the question, right? The survey, all right? The marketing, director of marketing and communications has clearly slipped up, all right? Our department has not been asked, what do we think of this survey that was going out? Even though I believe the survey has been recently passed out before, I think from my point of view and the football stadium end's point of view, it was a big mistake. I think it's allowed you to write some beautiful headlines on that situation. But the actual survey question was, what do you think of the manager, the players and the staff? And obviously, our manager and director of marketing clearly is not a great understander of football and how football works, because he's into marketing and branding and market research. So he must have thought it was the right thing to do, but clearly everybody else hasn't, and certainly my department, and even the chairman I spoke to last night.
Have you had an apology then, Sam?
Of the chairman, yes. And that's it, boys, okay? So let's move on. Don't ask me how many marks you think I'd get out of 10 either.
Oh, go on, what would you give yourself?
Piss off. 11.
There's actually a picture doing the rounds on the internet of that. In general terms about the club, though, is there a clear direction, a clear plan to move forward?
Our direction is we've achieved our first and only goal in the beginning from the very start, and I think that safety was the ultimate for 13 games and 12 points when I arrived here. That was very similar to other clubs that I'd arrived at a similar time. And the magic thing about what happened here was we'd done it in such quick time when you see others still striving and still worried and still that we're not. What we are striving for is to finish the season as best we possibly can and acquire as many points as we can. And then deliver a pre-season a policy for ins and outs at the club, and the pre-season in terms of training times, and of course the World Cup is pretty difficult to organise, because World Cup members who go to World Cup matches will be having to come back and have the right amount of rest before this, so some of those, if they play in the World Cup at any great length, may not even start the season. So we have that penciled in, but the main majority of the pre-season is where everybody going, what's everybody doing, when are they coming back. That's all, nearly all in play. What games are we playing is nearly all sorted as well, and when we're playing them, and then of course we give our lads the whole kit and caboodle regarding their training programs when they leave, how much rest they have, how much they need to start reactivating the body even before we start back on training. So that gladly is nearly in place, and the games, because we're now secured our Premier League status, so that allows us to move forward. But now it's 4 games. Newcastle on Monday night, who are in good form, and we will try our very best to beat them with our good home record. But I have to say that in the best form. They're in the best form they've been in all season, haven't they, since the turn of the year? So it'll be a tough match as always.
That sounds like what's gone on this week then hasn't brought any thoughts of you reconsidering your thoughts on staying at this club. Did I not just say I'd answer this question and that would be it?
But what I'm saying
is, being as it's you, it hasn't made any difference for me, considering my position at the football club. No. And until somebody rings me up at the very highest level and says, Sam, you're not wanted anymore, then I'll hold my hands up and say, right, okay, if that's how you feel, that's fine. But I'd be extremely disappointed if that was the case. In fact, I'd be much more disappointed than extremely.
So how do you feel about this club, this job now?
I don't feel anything other than great respect for the club as I had before I came in, and its need and its desire to have as much success as it possibly can. But success takes time, and when a season has been completely disrupted unexpectedly, then it throws a club into turmoil. and into chaos. So when I arrived, it were chaos, and we've managed to overcome that side of it and bring a level of training, performance, and try and get better consistency, particularly away from home, which we haven't achieved yet. But as time moves on and as a new season arrives, we have to make big decisions amongst us all, and all pull in the right direction to make those decisions, and saying, how do we get Everton better next season than this?
What are your thoughts as to how you do improve the situation?
It'll all be about recruitment, how good it is, and what we can achieve, and how much, like everybody else, what funds will be available.
In terms of that recruitment, do you have a figure?
You're diversifying from Newcastle again now. Get back to Newcastle.
I will do.
All right.
But just one final thing on that recruitment. I mean, how many players do you feel you need to supplement? I know you've got to move players out, but
I'm not going to tell anybody that just yet. I'm not going to speculate on who's going to go out, who's going to come back in. I mean, we have a difficult summer, as I said last time, by the fact the World Cup's on, and it's okay saying, you know, we might do this business or that business. A lot of the summer months, you try and achieve what business you want. You can't do that, and then all of a sudden you do business that you never expected to do, as in terms of players in, players out. You know what your targets might be in the beginning of the season, beginning of pre-season, or at the end of the season. By the time the middle of the seasons or pre-seasons happened, those targets could have very well changed. But being in the World Cup year, recruitment's going to be difficult, to say the least.
And as it's Newcastle, what's it like going up against your former club?
It's been so long now that I've known nothing but respect for the football club, and the fact that while it was, I always considered it to be unjust that I lost my job. It happened, and I've moved on, and you know, after a difficult time from that period onwards, they've managed to recover and get back in the Premier League, like, you know, and what looked like going to be a difficult season has been turned around starting in January, like you mean. So they've put together a run of games by how they've organised the team and what they've delivered. So we'll see a better Newcastle than we did when we beat them up there 1-0.
Well, then, do you make of the job that Rafa Benitez has done for them?
I think he's progressed very, very well. I think that he has always expressed his disappointment in not having enough funds, you know, but we can all say we don't have enough funds, but what he has managed with the funds he's had, I think, is particularly in the January months, has been excellent.
And in terms of the history between yourself and Rafa, it's still
there was none.
Water under the bridge, isn't it?
God, that was about 15 goddamn years ago, like, you know, when he just got here and I was winding anybody up I could possibly could. So, and it worked very well, by the way, at times, but so that doesn't happen anymore.
Would you go back to that?
No, not now. No.
Why not?
Too long in the tooth now, too mature for that now.
Wayne Rooney, we obviously know, has got a great goal-scoring record against Newcastle as well. And does that come into your thinking?
Thank God for that.
15 goals in his career against Newcastle.
Listen, our problem, apart from making us, well, we still haven't achieved enough clean sheets for me, but we've become quite tight defensively, and there was only, I think, the Arsenal away and Tottenham away where we just went to pieces again. But other than that, the games have always really been tight. But our goal ratio has been the problem, and of course it doesn't take an experienced manager like myself to see where if we're going to get better next season, then goals have to be more free flowing than this season, and that comes from better approach play and better final third quality, both in terms of providing assists and scoring goals. And when you're looking at how many goals we've scored, it just isn't enough. So we have to deal with that till the end of the season, then try and make it better next season.
And just to check,
how many questions have you got today?
This is the last one, I promise.
Is that right?
I'm only checking on Sigurdsson.
I know. Did you allow him 20 questions?
Sigurdsson, how's he progressing?
Very well. He's doing some rehab training. He's out on the pitch again. But you know, if anybody's to come back, he would. Well, Mason Holgate maybe after his ankle operation, but nobody else would be available this season, I don't think.
Just one, Sam, if I may, just in terms of obviously the positioning, we know you're well away now from the relegation zone, you can't quite catch the European places, probably. So how important is this? Because they can go above you, you can have a 4-point gap.
Yeah, they've got a game in hand on us as well. I mean, we want to finish in the top half if we can. I mean, and you want to finish as well the season well, because it's been let's face it, the season has been there's been a lot of turmoil. I mean, the only reason I'm here is because the team wasn't good enough before I got here. That was the opinion of the board, particularly in the end. So I came in to sort that out, and we've managed to achieve a certain amount of success. We would all have liked more. There's a certain lack of consistency in the side compared to home and away. That's even though the draw I thought was a very, very good point against Swansea because of the previous teams. They beat 3 teams who were above us previously. Beat Burnley, beat Arsenal, beat Liverpool, and of course beat West Ham. So what's getting the point? Whether we played not as good as we should have done, yes, but we still got the point, and that's what happens at this level of football. If you pick up points, then all of a sudden, confidence grows. But still, for me, a big challenge is the away from home performances and results. I think that's still a big challenge. It's a bigger challenge for the players because they're the ones that have to face it and put it right, and they're the ones that have been living with it for far too long. So we have to improve that. But what we don't have to worry about is playing away from home until after we've played Newcastle. And what we do have to focus on is how good we've been at home again this season. Even though the club has struggled, our home, was it two I've lost since I've been here, which is Man United, Man City. And when you see Man City go and destroy Tottenham at Tottenham, it shows you that it's highly unlikely that, and it would have been an absolute monster of results had we managed to draw or beat Man City. But in saying that, when the Liverpool came along, we nearly won that one. But and again, I'm not so sure how much encouragement we got in the media or the press for doing that, to be honest with you.
Sam, hard done by that.
Oh, you don't tell me about hard done by. I never feel hard done by because I only get re-slaughtered again by you lads by saying I feel hard done by. So I'll just create another headline. So I'll get on with my job, but I don't feel drawing with Liverpool home and away is on where they are at the moment and what position they're in. I thought were 2 fantastic results.
Sam, just a quick one. You've been a big supporter of the work the LMA does. We saw Joey Barton getting appointed Fleetwood head coach yesterday, and you had him for a time in Newcastle. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that appointment.
Well, if he's listening, make sure you join the LMA. Because no doubt somewhere along the line you'll need their advice, particularly as a young manager. Because there's no better association in this country to give advice to young managers or young coaches. Believe you me, because we have a wealth of talent and education programs that go far way and beyond all the people that run in our country, even as far as the FA, as far as I'm concerned. So join up and be a part of what we can offer you, because it will help you be help you get through the early management strifes and strains you'll come across. It'd be nice to see how Joey reacts to sitting in the desk or behind the desk, and good luck to him. He's taken on a big challenge, and we'll all see with in the next few weeks or months on whether he can be a manager that progresses through the leagues and moves forward or not. I think Fleetwood is a very good opportunity to start your apprenticeship, because you can make a few mistakes down there and perhaps move forward still from there. As the higher up they go, the less mistakes you can make.
In the brief time you had him at Newcastle, did you see any management potential in him?
I think he was too young at that time he was more concerned about playing, but I think as time's gone on, you've seen him evolve into somebody that has a big opinion, and he wants to put that opinion to test on how he would manage a football club if he got the opportunity. And I think there's not too many. I think he's very fortunate that you know, he's got the opportunity, because there's so many highly qualified coaches and managers out there who are unemployed now, and there's only 92 jobs in the Football League, so it's a very privileged position to get offered one, so he needs to grasp it with both hands, and good luck to him.
Thank you very much.